Hello? Nicola Sturgeon has resigned, and I am rejoicing. Oh yes, this is really good news. This is something we should all be rejoicing about. Why? Well, I have no animosity towards Scotland. I keep telling people I have relatives there. I have family there, and I worry about them. And I worried about them when the MSPs approved Scotland's hate crime law, which was a law that the wording of which is so loose you could get arrested for almost anything. And one of the worst things about it is it's not only if you say something disparaging about gay or trans people, but if you say it in private over the dinner table. It makes this law illegal to say in private conversation. So a business rival or even your own kids could rat you out if you happen to make an unguarded comment. And that's the sort of laws that the SNP were dealing with. And this law was put forward by this chap, Hamza Yousaf. And this is what Hamza Yousaf thinks of his fellow Scots. Hey.
But why are we so surprised when the most senior positions in Scotland are filled almost exclusively by those who are white? Take my portfolio alone. The Lord President, white. The Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. The Solicitor General, white. The Chief Constable, white. Every Deputy Chief Constable, white. Every Assistant Chief Constable, white. The head of the Law Society, white. The head of the Faculty of Advocates, white. Every prison governor, white. And not just justice, the Chief Medical Officer, white. The Chief Nursing Officer, white. The Chief Veterinary Officer, white. The Chief Social Work Advisor, white. Almost every trade union in this country headed by people who are white. In the Scottish Government, every Director General is white. Every chair of every public body is white. That is not good enough.
I have to point out here that Scotland has been white for, like 5, 6, 7,000 years. I don't know how long people have been living there. Probably a lot longer, actually. So, just imagine, I assume that with a name like that, he's possibly from a Pakistani or Bangladeshi background. How many chief ministers or nursing officers or whatever in those countries are not brown? And he complains about that. And that is the party that Nicola Sturgeon headed. And that is the party that put this stirring up hatred crime onto its books. And then, of course, it put the trans women are women idea on its books. So it was about to put a double rapist into a female prison because that double rapist said that he decided he was a woman after all. And it was only a national outcry that came from every corner of the British Isles that stopped this from happening. And, of course, there's always this, the Great Ferry fiasco. It may have been rigged. Does anybody believe that it wasn't? A leaked dossier has suggested the process of awarding a £97 million Scottish Ferries contract may have been rigged. Of course it was bloody rigged. And it's a colossal waste of Scottish money that Scotland can ill afford because its diminishing population is leaving Scotland. It's leaving Scotland because the SNP have made things so difficult for businesses, and just not only businesses, but of course for the employees who have to seek work elsewhere in the British Isles or abroad. Everybody in Scotland should be rejoicing that Sturgeon is leaving office. She's been nothing short of a total disaster for Scotland. And, as I've said before, she's a conniver. She got Alex Salmond out the way. It turns out Salmond wasn't such a nice man, but she politically assassinated him, thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to be boss, I'm going to do it right. But like most connivers, she's hopeless at the job. And I'm not just getting at Scotland here. We have a Prime Minister now who connived and politically assassinated, with the help of some friends, of course, the previous Prime Minister. And the guy we have now, he's no good at it. He's a conniver. I haven't got this, let's see, right, let's get it more centred. Nicola Sturgeon has formally announced her resignation, and we should all be cheering in England, in Wales, in Northern Ireland, and in Scotland, and in any of the islands surrounding as well. Speaking at Bute House in Edinburgh, Ms Sturgeon said, "In my head and in my heart, I know that time is now." Oh yes, it was long past now, Miss Sturgeon. And so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of SNP members of Parliament, very concerned for their jobs, did not pile into her office and give her the choice of a bottle of whiskey and a pistol or leaving office. Ms Sturgeon said she had told the SNP to begin the process of electing a new party leader, and she will remain in office until my successor is elected. Well, I can't see anyone who's coming up. I mean, she's successfully squashed any up-and-coming people, but if it's Hamza Yusuf, we're in for even more trouble than with her, quite frankly. All right, well, at least for the moment, we can rejoice. She is now out of office. Her reign of incompetence has stopped. Whether it leads to another reign of incompetence, who's to tell? Okay, well, I'm Granniopteryx on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. All the links to those channels are in the description. I let you know when I've uploaded a new video on Twitter, Gab and Parler. Links in the description. And please like this video. That's going to help with the algorithm. Please share it. Please check your subscription to make sure it's still active. And you can help me financially as well. Buy me a coffee. All the links are in the description. And so far, on this happy note, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Granniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.